15 Premier League records that may never be broken. Which Arsenal star can do it? Arsenal fans, I want you to forget everything you think you know about Premier League records, because some of the records we are about to discuss are so ridiculous that they may still be standing 20, 30, or even 50 years from now. 100 points in a season, 260 Premier League goals, 658 appearances, 86 consecutive home matches unbeaten, 36 goals in one Premier League season. And then there's the record that belongs to US, 49 Premier League matches without defeat, the Invincibles. But here's what makes today's video different. I'm not just going to tell you about these records. I want you to decide which current Arsenal player could eventually break one of them. Because look at the Arsenal squad going into the new season. Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice, William Saliba, Victor Gyökeres, Ethan Nwaneri, Max Daumann. These players are already writing their own stories, and some of them could potentially become the next names in Premier League record books. So stay with me, because number 1 is the record every Arsenal fan dreams about seeing broken again. And before we start, if you're a gooner, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's see how many of these records Arsenal can eventually destroy. Number 15. Arsenal's extraordinary discipline record. We are starting with something very recent, something Arsenal have literally just achieved. And honestly, I don't think this gets talked about enough. During their title-winning 2025-26 Premier League campaign, Arsenal finished with the fewest yellow cards in the league and 0 red cards. Think about that. An entire Premier League season, 38 matches, title pressure, huge games, physical battles, last-minute situations, and Arsenal didn't receive a single red card. That's remarkable. And it is particularly interesting because Arsenal have had seasons where disciplinary issues became a major talking point. But this Arsenal team found a different balance. Aggression without constantly crossing the line. Intensity without losing control. And now comes the question, can Arsenal do it again in the new season? Could Arteta's team once again finish with the fewest yellow cards? Could they go through another entire Premier League campaign without a red card? And which current Arsenal player do you think will be most important in maintaining that discipline? Saliba, Rice, Odegaard, Saka? Put your answer in the comments, because we are starting with a record Arsenal have just created, and we are ending with one Arsenal created more than 2 decades ago. Number 14. James Milner's 658 Premier League appearances. This is one of those records where you hear the number and immediately think, how is anyone supposed to break that? 658 Premier League appearances. That's the current appearance record held by James Milner. But here's what makes it almost impossible. You don't just need to be good. You need to be good for an incredibly long time. You need longevity, fitness, consistency, and you have to remain trusted by managers for more than 2 decades. So let's bring this back to Arsenal. Could Bukayo Saka eventually challenge this record? He's already been playing senior football at an incredibly young age. But can he stay healthy and remain a Premier League player for another 15 years? Could one of Arsenal's current youngsters eventually become the next Milner? That's your first big Arsenal prediction. Number 13. Alan Shearer's 260 goals. Now we're talking about one of the most intimidating records in football. 260 Premier League goals. Alan Shearer. 260. Harry Kane got to 213. Wayne Rooney finished on 208. And even the modern scoring machine, Erling Haaland, still has a very long road ahead of him. The official Premier League record still lists Shearer's 260 as the career scoring benchmark. So here's the Arsenal question. Could Victor Gyökeres eventually challenge it? Not this season. I'm talking about his entire Premier League career. If he stays fit, keeps scoring, and remains in England for many years, how far could he actually go? 200, 220, 250, 260? I want your prediction. Number 12. Erling Haaland's 36 goal season. And this is the one every striker will have in the back of their mind. 36 Premier League goals. Erling Haaland. 2022/23. The modern 38 game Premier League record. 36 goals. That is an extraordinary number. And now, Arsenal have a striker who will be expected to score goals at the highest level. Victor Gyökeres. So let me ask you, can Gyökeres beat 36? Could he score 37, 38, maybe even 40? And if he does, we might be looking at one of the greatest individual seasons in Arsenal history. So don't just comment his name, give me a number. How many Premier League goals will Victor Gyökeres score in his best Arsenal season? Number 11, 55 consecutive Premier League matches scoring. Now, this one belongs to Arsenal. Arsenal once went 55 consecutive Premier League matches scoring at least 1 goal. 55. That run came during the Arsene Wenger era and remains one of the most remarkable scoring streaks in Premier League history. And this is fascinating because it doesn't belong to one player. It requires an entire team, different strikers, different midfielders, different defenders, different opponents, different seasons. Yet Arsenal kept scoring. So now imagine Arteta's Arsenal doing it. Saka scores, Gyökeres scores, Odegaard scores, Rice scores, set pieces, counter attacks, open play, penalties. Could this current Arsenal team break Arsenal's own record? Imagine the headlines. Arsenal have done it again. Number 10. Chelsea's 25 clean sheets. Chelsea's 2004/05 team recorded an extraordinary 25 clean sheets in one Premier League season. 25. That is more than half the season. And it goes together with another ridiculous defensive record. Just 15 goals conceded. Both remain official Premier League records. Now look at Arsenal. David Raya, William Saliba, Gabriel, and a defense that has become one of the strongest in England. Could this Arsenal team challenge 25 clean sheets? Could Saliba become one of the defining defenders of the Premier League era? That's where I want your opinion. Number 9. Just 15 goals conceded. Let's stay with Chelsea, because conceding only 15 goals across 38 matches is absolutely ridiculous. That's fewer than half a goal per game. Imagine Arsenal conceding 10, 12, 15, and winning the league. Now imagine the names involved. Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, Rice protecting the defense. Could this Arsenal squad eventually produce a defensive season even better than Chelsea's? And if they do, who gets the most credit? The goalkeeper, the centre-backs, the midfield, or Mikel Arteta? Number 8. Chelsea's 86 home matches unbeaten. Now we're entering ridiculous territory. 86 Premier League home matches unbeaten. Chelsea did it from 2004 to 2008. 4 years. 4 years of opponents walking into Stamford Bridge knowing, we may not win here. Now imagine that happening at the Emirates. Imagine Arsenal going through season after season without losing a Premier League home game. The Emirates becomes a fortress. And suddenly, teams aren't just playing Arsenal. They are playing the history of Arsenal's home record. Could Arteta build that? And which Arsenal player would become the face of that Emirates dominance? Number 7. 97 points and still second. This is probably one of the most painful records in Premier League history. Liverpool collected 97 points in 2018-19 and didn't win the title. Think about that. 97 points. You could win 31 matches and still not lift the trophy. That's how insane that Manchester City-Liverpool era became. And Arsenal fans know what it's like to be involved in title races where an incredible points tally still isn't enough. So here's the question. Could Arsenal eventually reach 100 points? Because if they do, surely they are winning the league. Number 6, 100 points. And here it is, 100 points. Manchester City, 2017/18. 32 wins, 4 draws, 2 defeats, 100 points. Nobody has matched it. Liverpool got to 99, and yet 100 remains the magic number. Now imagine Arsenal doing it. Imagine going through 38 matches and reaching the century. And here's where this current squad becomes interesting. Saka, Gyökeres, Odegaard, Rice, Saliba, Raya. If everything clicks, could Arsenal become only the second team to reach 100? Comment 100 if you believe Arsenal can do it. Number 5, 13 Premier League titles. Now we're talking about longevity at the very top. 13 Premier League titles. Ryan Giggs, Manchester United. 13 winners' medals. The official Premier League records list Giggs as the player with the most Premier League titles. To break that kind of record, a player doesn't just need talent. They need to remain at an elite club for years, and they need to keep winning. So here's the Arsenal question. Could Bukayo Saka become the face of an Arsenal dynasty? Could he stay at Arsenal for the next decade and collect title after title? Could Odegaard? Could Saliba? Could Rice? Because if Arteta builds a dynasty, somebody in this squad could eventually start approaching those numbers. Number 4, Ryan Giggs, 21 seasons scoring. Here's another ridiculous longevity record. Ryan Giggs scored in 21 different Premier League seasons. 21. That's not a record you break by having one incredible year. You need an entire career. And this is where I want you to think about Arsenal's teenagers. Because we've already seen Max Dallman announce himself at an extraordinarily young age. If a player starts that early, how many seasons could they potentially have ahead of them? Could one of Arsenal's youngsters eventually become a 20-season Premier League player? Maybe that's where the next truly unbreakable record breaker is hiding. Number 3. Arsenal's 49-game unbeaten run. Now we are entering sacred Arsenal territory. 49 Premier League matches unbeaten. Arsenal, the Invincibles. The run began in May 2003 and finally ended in October 2004. the Premier League still lists it as the longest unbeaten run in competition history. Think about the players who tried to do what Arsenal did. Manchester United, Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool. Great teams, world-class managers, world-class players, and still, nobody has beaten 49. So here's the question that Arsenal fans have been waiting for. Can Arteta's Arsenal become Invincibles 2.0? Could Saka be part of it? Could Saliba? Could Rice? Could Odegaard? Could Gyökeres? Could the 2026/27 Arsenal team go an entire league season without losing? Because if they do, they won't just win another title. They'll enter Arsenal immortality. Number 2, 106 goals in a Premier League season. Now let's switch from defense to attack. Manchester City scored 106 Premier League goals in 2017-18, the most in a single Premier League season. 106. That's nearly 3 goals every match. And imagine Arsenal reaching that number. Saka, Gyökeres, Martinelli, Odegaard, Rice, Trossard. The goals would have to come from everywhere. So here's another challenge. Could Arsenal score 100 plus Premier League goals in the new season? And if they do, who will be Arsenal's top scorer? I'm putting my prediction on record. I think this Arsenal attack has the potential to produce something special. But I want your prediction. Number 1, the record Arsenal fans want back. And now, we've reached number 1. But I'm not going to give you another ordinary statistic, because this is about legacy. 38 matches, 0 defeats, the Invincibles. Arsenal completed the entire 2003/04 Premier League season unbeaten. No defeats, not one. And that achievement is still unique in Premier League history. Think about what that means. You can lose the FA Cup. You can lose a Champions League match. You can have a bad night. But in the Premier League, you cannot lose once. 38 matches against everyone. Home, away, top teams, bottom teams, rain, injuries, suspensions, pressure, fatigue, and Arsenal did it. That's why Thierry Henry, Vieira, Bergkamp, Pires, Campbell, Cole, Lauren, Lehmann, and the rest of that squad will forever be known as the Invincibles. Now imagine Arteta's Arsenal doing it. Imagine Arsenal going into the final game of the season, knowing win this match and history repeats itself. Imagine the Emirates. Imagine the final whistle. Imagine the players celebrating. Imagine the headline, Arsenal are Invincibles again. That would be one of the greatest stories in modern football. But now, it's your turn. So Arsenal fans, we've gone through 15 extraordinary Premier League records. Some belong to individuals, some belong to clubs, some are decades old, and one of them, Arsenal literally just achieved in 2025/26. But here's what makes this video special. I don't want you to just watch it. I want you to make your prediction. Look at the current Arsenal squad. Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice, William Saliba, Victor Gyökeres, Ethan Nwaneri, Max Daumann, and everyone else. Now answer this. Who is the next Arsenal record breaker? And don't just type the player's name. Give me player plus record. For example, Gyökeres Haaland's 36 goal record, Saka Milner's appearance record, Saliba Chelsea's 15 goal defensive record, Rice Invincibles 2.0, or perhaps Max Daumann, a record we haven't even thought about yet. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because we're going to be following Arsenal throughout the entire new Premier League season. Transfers, match analysis, player performances, records, young stars, and hopefully another Premier League title. But most importantly, I want to see your prediction. Which Arsenal player will make Premier League history? Put the name and the record in the comments. Let's see which Arsenal fan gets it right before the new season even begins. Because one day, one of these records will be broken. And wouldn't it be something if the player who breaks it wears the Arsenal shirt?